Good morning, traders. Welcome to Trading Together. I'm Mel Gacee. Today is Monday, March the 30th. How's everybody doing today? We are having quite the morning. It's been a little bit herky-jerky this morning with this crazy gap up and then this drop down all the way down to a support level and then a bounce from there. Looking like a bit of a W if you kind of turn it this way and stretch it out a little bit wonky, but you can sure see it. That is a bullish pattern. It's also known as a double bottom. See how we hit a bottom here, same exact bottom, and then a nice bounce from it. So we are looking rather bullish at the moment, up about 37 points. So that's good. We dipped down on Friday. We certainly did have a lot of selling and have had a lot of selling. This is what we call a counter rally. Could be a dead cat bounce. We don't know yet. Short covering rally, maybe. We'll see. We'll take a look at the daily charts and see what we can see. But good to see you here, Craig. Thank you so much for joining. Bill is here. Good morning, Bill. Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. And let's take a look at our charts, right? If you are here this morning and you haven't said hi, please drop your name in the chat. This is learn and grow and trade together. Potentially, if we get the right setup, we're going to discuss the markets, we're going to analyze the markets, and I'm going to answer any questions and comments you have. This is a place for traders of all levels. So if you're beginning, welcome. I'm happy to help you with any question. Such thing as a dumb question. Don't be shy. Drop your question in the chat and I'll help you. If you're an experienced trader, welcome as well. We are going to take live trades. I am a scalper. I am a day trader. I am in and out of the market very quickly. And so it can be challenging to follow on a stream, but that is exactly what I'm going to do. Now, my little disclaimer here is that this is educational, right? I am not recommending any trades. I'm not asking you to follow me. You can follow me if you choose, but this is for educational purposes. So I am showing you how it's done. I'm showing you how to trade. I'm showing you how I think through a trade. I am not recommending. Okay, so that's hopefully we'll get that disclaimer out there in the open. Freaky Turkey is here, and Craig, definitely worth a thumbs up. Thanks, Craig. I appreciate that. Val is here. Good morning. And Craig would like me to read the time. You bet, Craig. Let me get over to my chart so I can see it a little better. At 11:05 and 26 Eastern, Craig. So if you wouldn't mind telling me what your delay is, that would be helpful. Thank you so much. All right, here we go. Had a little run up. Now we're getting a bit of a retraction from that. So look at how many candles have been on the way up here. Quite a few. 8 seconds for Val and 5 seconds for Craig. Thank you, Craig. Val, sometimes you can refresh your browser and bring that delay down a bit. That seems to be working for a lot of people. So let me know if that does in fact work for you. All right, let's take a look here. What on earth is going? Trade price 0. What, did it fill? Oh, it did fill. Okay, very nice. I'm doing a little experimentation with, I went back to cheddar flow. I don't know if you guys remember me talking about that. I did, just one moment here. I did join cheddar flow and then I unsubscribed because they were irritating me with their data feeds. A lot of times they have really delayed data feeds and it's super annoying. So I unsubscribed. I went over to Unusual Whales, and these are platforms that I use to give me a few things. I'm looking for dark pool. I'm looking for gamma. So I'm usually looking for all of those things, and cheddar has a great dashboard. I really love it. It's easy to use, easy to read, easy to see. But their data feed is inconsistent, and that's super irritating for me. So I went over to Unusual Whales, which is really nice. It's a great, great platform. I really do like it, but they're just not as easy to read or understand. So I went back to Cheddarflow, and wouldn't you know it, today I'm having trouble with the feed, of course, super annoying. But I've also been experimenting with a feed on Cheddarflow that I really like, and it's kind of this unusual volume feed that I really like. It shows you what tickers are, it's basically a scanner, and it shows you what tickers are uh, really moving, basically, right? So I've traded a couple of those this morning so far, and all I did is just put a little limit, a little 10% profit limit on it, so I didn't have to watch it while I'm doing my live trading. And both of those have filled nicely this morning that I took. I took one on PDD, and I took another on, what was it, AA. So those both filled very nicely for me at 10% profit. And so I am kind of liking that feed that Cheddarflow is offering. I can show it to you in just a minute. Right now, what I'm watching is this test of the VWAP on the SPY. You can see it right here, getting a test, getting a little bounce off of it. We sort of pushed through it, and now it's given us a bit of a bounce. Let's see. We are up 24 points from the open. So still basically a green day, and yet we had a quite bearish open. Now we're getting a little bit of a pushback. So we'll look at those charts here in just a second. Let's see here what we do with the VWAP. This is what I'm watching. Looks like it wants to kind of pop down through it, but we haven't broken it yet. We're also getting a tiny bounce off of this 50 period moving average. So let's see if we can break down through that one. We do have some negative signals. Jeff is here. Good morning, Jeff. Bit of a little bounce here. So what happens here at the VWAP is important. I'm watching it. We've been down below it all morning. This is the first time that we've reclaimed it. We reclaimed it with this push up and then fell down back to it and now pushing off of it again. So this could be another bullish signal. Let's see what we get. And again, I'm going to take a quick look at the Cheddarflow. Well, well, well. Got gamma. Isn't it a miracle? Okay. Nice to have gamma back. Negative net gamma for today's expiration, but not by a lot. 2.7 billion on the put gamma, 2.4 billion on the call gamma for a negative net of 325 million. Not huge. It's not a big number, believe it or not, even though it looks big. Call wall sitting at 645, put wall sitting at 634. We are currently trading at 636, so our put wall is just below us. Our call wall is, of course, above us by a great deal. All right. So I'm just actually looking at the order flow right now on the SPY. Order flow also looking negative, 74 million negative. Call put flow to 33 5.1 million call flow. All right, still battling this VWAP right here. A break of the VWAP to the downside, I might consider some puts here. Nothing happening just yet, just watching this little VWAP get defended. We do see our VIX giving us a push here, which makes sense, right? Because you can see this little drop, right? We can see this drop right here. That's equating to this push right here. That's how the VIX works. VIX works inverse, usually, to the indices. VIX is what is called the volatility index, also known as the fear gauge. It tries to gauge the fear in the market. So as the VIX climbs, the market is feeling fear, and it gives us a usually move down in the market. Just really trying to hold this VWAP here. Looking a little breaky there. Let's see. A little breaky. Come on. Sitting at 23 points positive from the open. Well, excuse me, not from the open, from the close of Friday. Really trying to hold here. Come on now. Just watching this breaking candle to see if it tries to pull back up or continues down. All right, I am looking at 636 puts. I'm going to go ahead and jump in really quickly. I'm in. I'm out. That's roughly, let me double check. I want to say 4%, 5 cents on 18. So yeah, 4-ish%. Again, these trades are for educational purposes. I am not encouraging anybody to follow me. I am showing you what I do. If you choose to take a trade, you do it at your own risk. I've got to put my disclaimer on there. I went to a conference this weekend, and I realized I'm pretty exposed in the way that I'm trading here. So basically, I want to make sure everyone understands it's educational purposes. That's what this is for. This stream is to teach, right? So, all right. That was a fun little win there. All right. So we've got some negative flow on Tesla today, some positive flow on NVIDIA. But right now we are sitting at about 14 points above Friday's close. What made you want to exit that trade? Do you see how it's given us a wee bit of a bounce here, Craig? I had already, when I got in, I had already seen that it had been going for a while, right? So we saw that it began, really the move began up here. I watched we all watched together. We watched how we really tried to defend this VWAP and then it broke the VWAP. As it started to come down and give us a little bit of profit, I went ahead and took that because the move was already extended. It was already in play. So crossing and breaking the VWAP did give me the confirmation to go ahead and take it, but very quickly, because it had already been moving down since 11:05 Eastern. So that's why, Craig, I'm usually, as you know, in and out pretty quickly. Not trying to hold things usually very long, especially when you trade 0 days to expiration like I do. Okay. Thanks for the question. It's a great question, Craig. Now let's zoom out a bit and see if we can kind of figure out what the goal is today. I'm going to go to a 15-minute chart here, and I'm going to kind of zoom out and just look at what we did overnight and what we're doing today. Sometimes when you zoom out, you really do get a better view of what's going on. So this is the 15-minute chart on the futures. So remember, futures run almost 24/7, not quite. And you can see here on the futures that no, Andrew asking if it's energy. No. Energy sector is XLE. There are some energy tickers within XLE, but this is the ES. This is the futures. And great question, Andrew. Thank you for asking it. This is the futures ticker for the S&P 500. So these are contracts that are being traded into the future, basically contracts on the S&P 500 being traded into the future. On a 15-minute chart, and I'm going back roughly just looking at the last 3 or 4 trading days here. So this trading day right here is the 25th of March, the 26th of March, the 27th of March, which was Friday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, today. So we can see usually what are the blue lines on the left, horizontal? These lines are volume. This is another way to display volume. So I have volume displayed on most of my charts as a vertical line. You can see it. Okay, we are making a little push back to the VWAP here. I might consider calls in just a second. Just watching this approach of the VWAP. But speaking of volume, Andrew, we have volume down here. This is basically by time, volume by the bar that's being displayed, in this case, the minute bar. So every minute bar is showing what the volume was traded on that minute, right? Same over here. Of course, I'm on a 15-minute chart, but each bar represents a 15-minute increment of time, and these volume bars represent how much was traded in that 15-minute period of time on the futures. These horizontal bars are also volume, but they are not time-based, they are price-based. So these bars show you the volume that was traded at this price level, right? So you can see where the volume extends out. These bars, these blue, extend out. This tells you that this was the highest traded level of Friday right there in terms of volume, okay? Yeah, you could say it that way, Andrew, where most of the money is. Great question. Thank you. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't drop. You can see on Friday, We had a very severe drop all day long. We dropped, right? All day. The heaviest volume was in here at this 64, 63 zone. That was the heaviest volume. But of course, we continued to drop. But here's what's interesting. When you look at the heaviest volume traded, what do you notice about today? It's right where it's right where we hit our top, isn't it? Right where we opened was at this same level, this same heavily traded volume area. That's where we opened. So sometimes where we see volume sitting for a while can give us a clue. It kind of happened this not quite the same way, but you can see this, the heaviest volume on Thursday was right here. And we did come up. We didn't quite hit it, but we got real close. We got real close. So it just gives you a clue where, like you said, Andrew, money is sitting or has been sitting. That's what you have to remember. Volume is always, showing you where money has been, right? So that is something to remember. All right, so looking at the ES, I want to see what I'm looking at is what is the overall sentiment? Well, certainly as of Wednesday, and of course, much, much farther back than Wednesday, but as of Wednesday on this chart, you can certainly see in bearish. Oof, oof, oof. Drop, drop, drop. And then today, all night, right, trying to get a relief rally here, pushes up right in here. And what did we open? Oof, tanked, just tanked. So what this is telling is, yes, there was a bit of a, we would call this a dead cat bounce, a little relief bounce, but it has not been sustained as of yet. Now here we are testing the VWAP again on the 1 minute chart. I might consider calls here. I'm going to look at them, the 636 levels. And I'm going to watch and see what happens here at the VWAP. We don't quite have the MACD rolling over yet. We've got the VIX basically giving us some sideways behavior, same as the SPY, doing the same thing. Little push at the VIX. I'm just looking at order flow on the SPY right now. Getting still a little test of this VWAP here. Nothing strong yet, but it's looking better for a call. Just watching this candle here. I'm going to go ahead and give this call a quick try. Again, this is educational only. If you choose to follow me, you do it at your own risk. I'm only showing you how I do it. right. Giving us a little red candle here. So if I lose, I can get my money back. I think the idea of the disclaimer is if you lose, you can't get your money back. But since this is a free channel, there's no money here anyway. Coming back down to test this VWAP. All right. Back down through. Just still sitting on it. $21 points, 22 points over Friday's close. So still green on the day. All right, break here. This is definite break. Not looking very strong there, even though we had that nice push up through the VWAP here. This right here is not looking strong. Little green candle. Nope, not for long. And we're back to a support right in here. I'm going to hold this call for a minute and I'm going to pivot over to puts. I'm not in them yet. See what we do here. Little tiny push off of this support zone right here at 636. All right, just a little bit of green here, not much. Not pushing back up through the VWAP yet. See if we can get a little oomph behind this. Unfortunately, what we've really been doing for quite a while here is ranging. Even though we did get this nice push, overall, it's just been in a range. There's a little bit of a move. That's nice. All right, just watching this top here. A little bit of a push here. There we go. There we go. I'm going to jump out here. I'm out. I believe that's 3%. Let's see if they try and push this top here. That was a nice trade, just a little one. Let's see where I got in and got out. No, it's actually 5%. Okay, good. Not huge, but I'll take it because that one was looking a little iffy there under the VWAP for a minute. Dan is here. Good morning, Dan. Good to see you. All right. So here again, like I said earlier, even though we did get this little push and pull, basically for quite a while, we've been sitting in a range. That's where we're sitting. So I jumped out real quick. I wasn't waiting for a test of this high. I wasn't sure they were going to do it, and they didn't. So far, they have not. All right, there we go. Another little push. We are up over the VWAP on the futures. We're up over the VWAP on the SPY. There's a little strength here we're starting to see. Could we jump in for another call here? It's a little close to this top, but we are beating the 200 period moving average. So that is kind of a possibility. Let's see what we get. I'm going to take a quick look at flow. Not too much happening right now with the flow, sitting kind of still. Still negative in general, 2 to 1 basically. 83 million in put flow, 40 million in call flow. So still on the negative side for flow. $11.35. All right. I'm getting close. I'm more leaning toward a put here to see if this thing reverses. So I'm looking at the 637 puts. Is that right? Yes, 637s. I'm not in anything because it's still climbing, right? But we do have a short-term top here. Oh, climb, climb. I'm going to wait, even though it could beat this top here. It could keep going. I am going to wait on the call. I already took a call on this run. So I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to wait for the reversal trade. All right. Craig, what extent do you consider trades in the 1 minute chart drive your entry or exit? For example, there's an uptrend on the 1 minute from 11:15. Great question, Craig. To a great extent, most of what I'm looking at is the 1 minute. And so you're exactly right. There is an uptrend from 115. However, I already traded that, right? You saw me take that call. But yes, to a great extent, that is exactly what I'm looking at, is this short-term trend. Now, I do zoom out like I just did on the 15-minute to get an idea of where money is sitting, right? But the 1 minute is what gives me my entry and exits. So you're exactly right. Freaky turkey. Last week I noticed CL would move up 2 minutes before the ES pushes up. The market makers seem to hold SPY for those 2 minutes to capture buys before dumping. Made good money, but nothing so far this week. It's a great observation, Freaky. I have noticed in recent days, obviously since the Iran conflict, I have noticed this really inverse relationship between CL being oil, sweet crude, futures / CL, sweet crude futures on the Thinkorswim platform, and the S&P 500. I have noticed that inverse relationship getting very, very tight, where when the CL moves down, the SPY moves up. When the SPY moves down, the CL moves up. And you are correct. I believe oil is driving. I think it is the driver. And they are probably doing some form of a manipulation there, Freaky. So I think that's a really good eye. It's a great observation. I'm with you. I agree with you. And I have been watching. In fact, you can see I have CL on my watch list right here, /CL. And you can see today oil is up 2.2%. And even though the SPY is up, it is feeling rather bearish, isn't it? Okay, here's a move down here. I may get ready to trade this to the downside. I'm not sure yet. I'm watching. All right, just watching this, not in it. Still kind of, we haven't broken the VWAP. We are moving down just a little bit. There's no cross on the MACD yet, although it is moving down. The other thing I've been watching this morning is the relationship between the price and the 20. That's this yellow line. The price and the 50, those are also being kind of respected today. You can see it, even though, again, it's more sideways than anything. That's what today has been, more sideways than anything. All right, looks like another little push here, potentially. Let's see. We are kind of right now using this 200. This blue line right here is the 200 period moving average. We're sort of using that line to hold. It's almost a resistance right now. We popped over it here, popped over it here, and we're popping over it right now. So we'll see what we get. A little bit of a move up, it looks like. No puts for me right now, just watching. All right. I am kind of feeling a potential move down here. Let's see what happens. And again, it's that right now it's this 200. So let's see what we get here. In too early, but hopefully good. Are you in puts, Andrew? Good luck. We have not begun a move down yet. I'm only preparing for that move. We have not started it. There are no indications of a move down yet. I'm just getting a little bit more prepared for it, but we don't have the signals yet. All right. Well, good luck, Andrew. I hope it works for you. And Bitcoin made a little move up today. So Bitcoin came down to 66, which is the lowest we've seen in quite a while. I do track Bitcoin pretty closely. And again, a little move up today. So that's nice. 2.7% move up at this moment. Meta coming up after a nasty dump. Meta has absolutely just crashed, crashed and burned. Of course, they did. Meta and Google both, I believe, were held responsible for some of this addictive, negative content that's been, really hurting teenagers for a long time. And finally, it sounds like they're getting held accountable for that, which makes me happy. They need to be much more responsible with the content that they're putting out to children and teenagers. All right. Silver up a bit today. The mags as a group, remember I track them as a whole group, the ETF. Mags are up about 1%. A little bit, almost twice, percentage-wise, where the SPY is. Gold up a little bit today. Got IWM red. Now that's interesting. We do have the Russell being red right now. So that's something to bear in mind. Of course, Palantir and Apple are red. All right, starting a move down potentially. Let's see what we get here. Let's see if we get follow through on this. No break of the 200 yet. MACD not rolling over just yet, but we're getting close. Need the VIX to give us a little bit of a move up here. That's the other thing to bear in mind for today. The VIX has really stayed above 29. Pretty elevated for the VIX, guys. Something to bear in mind. This is not a healthy market. We are getting a bit of a relief rally, but it's minor. This is so far a 30-point rally. That's nothing compared to what we've dropped. So even though today is acting as a bit of a relief rally, it's really at this point, not even, it's barely even a dead cat bounce. There's just not much relief happening. Can't really call it a relief rally. There's not a lot of relief happening. All right, no break of the 200 just yet, but I think we could come down. So we'll see. Let's keep watching this. I don't have signals yet. That's why I'm not in. We're just getting these teeny little moves here. All right, MACD is starting to give us a bit of a little red. See it? Just that teeny little red, itty bitty little bar there. We have not broken the 200. We have not, it's not quite ready to drop yet is what it seems like to me, but let's see. Let's see what we get. Sometimes they do this and then all of a sudden we get a big whoosh. Or sometimes they hold it. Let's see what we get. So wants to look like it's rounding over, but it's just not giving it up yet. Not giving up. See how it's just bouncing right on this 200 line? Just keeps bouncing right there. All right, MACD starting like a rock. Yeah, it's just bouncing right here. So we'll see. We'll see what we get. The MACD is starting to give us some negative signals. No real move yet. And I'm going to look at the volume here. So right now, the majority of the volume today is centered around the 635 puts. Now we've already been there, so that does not mean we have to go back. Remember that. Just because we have heavy volume at a level, is if we've already been there, we do not have to revisit it. $635, $636 level is where the highest volume is sitting on the put side, much higher than anything on the call side. The call side highest volume is sitting at 638 calls, which is right where we are. That would make sense. And can they run it up from here? They absolutely can. So no real drop just yet. Still holding it up. What we want to see if we were to take calls is we'd want to see a break of this top and this top, which are almost the same. They're just right there next to each other. 638.3 and 638.1. These are the little tops that would need to break if we were to go, for me, if we were to go bullish again. If I were to flip-flop over to calls, which I could if we were to break this. So we did get a bounce off the 200 right now, for now. There's our current top right here. Right there, 638.1 on the SPY. And there's a break of that. Next top needs to break at 638.3. Go check the flow. Not too much happening at the moment. Little push. Current top right here. All right. Could we consider calls here? We could. Here's our top right here. We did, I mean, this is the real top, but the bodies of the candles are right here at 638.4. We'll zoom out a little bit on the ES and see what this looks like. See that top right there? Here's where we're at. We have not hit our overnight high yet, at least on the ES. That didn't happen today. It happened back here at about 7:30 Eastern. We came all the way to E1 on the ES. We have not tried to challenge that yet today. Let's see what the equivalent is on the SPY of that pre-market high. The equivalent on the SPY is 641. So that's a good bit overhead, about 30 points overhead. All right, here comes a little bit of a slowdown here. I'm watching. A little bit of a rejection so far off of this top. So far. Right, looking like a little slowdown. You need a rock? Do you mean you need it to drop, Andrew? Yeah. Okay. I think we will get a drop here. But again, we are in a bit of a ranging behavior. All right, I'm going to go ahead and try this put here. I am in. This is for educational purposes. I'm not recommending for anybody to follow me or to take a trade. I'm just showing you how I do it. Okay. All right, a little bit of a move down here. Strange movement on the premiums, not loving this at all. Oh, Lord have mercy. I took a call. I'm out. See, it happens to all of us, right? We all have these fat fingers sometimes. All right. Out of the call, into the put. Good grief. That was silly on my part. There we go. A little test of the 200. I'm out. I'm out at 7% on that put. I think it's going to keep coming down. I'm going to load more puts, 638s. That stupid little call cost me 4%. Very frustrating. All right. I'm going to try the puts one more time. I'm out. That's 8%. Yeah. All right. That was a fun little move. Andrew, hopefully you're positive. I hope. I know you jumped in early on that move. I should be out. What does that mean? Does that mean you're trying to hold? We should get a test of the VWAP here. Your educational training is excellent. Thank you, Craig. Craig, you always get me. I appreciate you. All right. So getting a little slow down here. We didn't quite contest the VWAP, but I think we will at some point. We don't have to do it right now. Andrew, I recommend if you got green, you might as well take it, but I can't excuse me, no recommendations. If I were trading that put right now, and I just did, I would take small green. Just because we haven't broken down through the VWAP yet. I really have to change my verbiage, guys, and I'm sure you're noticing Craig is definitely also picked up on it. Just because this is an educational channel, I want to make sure I'm not steering anybody toward taking trades or making any recommendations. It's only for education. So you watch me take a trade. If you choose to follow, you follow at your own risk. But for purposes of this stream, it's educational. So that's why I'm changing my verbiage here, guys. And I'm glad that you understand. And I'm glad that you guys have all been able to benefit from the stream today. We are coming up to the end of the stream. It was such fun trading with you guys or in front of you guys. And I've enjoyed it very much. I've had personally a great day. Super happy with my day today. I hope you all are also having a good day. We will be back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. And as always, I really appreciate your comments and your questions, and I appreciate you being here. Love having these winning days so that you guys can all learn from it. And I will see you again tomorrow. All right, everyone. Bye for now.